What's up everybody, Camero here, and welcome to part 84 of my How to Make a Pokemon Game tutorial series. In this episode, we are going to be looking at mid-battle dialogue. First, we're going to install the required scripts and the graphics. Then after that, we're going to make a simple example where a character says a line of dialogue at the start of the battle. Then after that, we're going to find out how we can set our enemy's ace Pokemon, and then have extra dialogue play when they throw out their ace. Then after that, we're going to make a more complex example where our enemy can use stat changes to raise their stats or maybe even lower our stats. Then after that, we're going to get even more complex and start introducing status changes. And then finally, I'm going to show you a super crazy example of mid-battle dialogue that I set up for Pokemon Bushido, where you got crazy battle effects going in, and we even have music changes. With all that said, let's get into it. So, mid-battle dialogue is an amazing plugin made by Golisopod user. He goes by Broskido as well, and he's compiled this amazing resource for us to use in our game. And it is so good, it allows you to really spruce up all of the battles. I love it so much. There's a whole bunch of instructions to follow here, and we're going to get to that, but the very first thing you should do is in the top right here, just click Go to Download. That'll take you to the MediaFire link where you can download all of the required mid-battle dialogue files. I have already downloaded them, and I've got them right here on my computer. I've got my game folder, and I've got my mid-battle dialogue resources folder. So let's go inside and let's check it out. What's inside is a data folder, a graphics folder, and 2 scripts. The data folder contains a map file that you can put in your game if you want to see some examples. There's a graphics folder here that requires 2 files, or that has 2 files that we're going to put into our game. So let's just go and actually put them in right now. I'm going to grab these and copy them. And then I'm going to go into my game folder. Then you want to go into graphics, battle animations, and then you can just hit paste. There we go. So that's black bar underscore bottom and black bar underscore top. And then finally, let's start looking at those scripts. These are very important, and we are going to edit one of them later. One of them is script 1, and the other one is script 2. I've already got them open in Notepad++ here. To do that, you can just right-click on them and hit open, and yeah, then you'll just get all this text here. So this very first one is, I believe, Battle Data Main. Let's actually consult the guide that Golisopod user made for us, and let's take a look at the installation instructions. So yeah, script 1 should be called Battle Script Main. Script 2 should be called Battle Script Data. So let's install the scripts right now. I've got script 1 open here. I'm going to hit Control A and copy everything. Then we're going to go into our game folder, go to the script editor, and we're going to scroll down right to the bottom here, and we want to place it above main. So let's just do right-click insert a couple times. There we go. And I'm just going to make this one a whole bunch of like equals signs. So right here, this first one, let's call this battle script underscore main, and then hit Control V to paste it all in. There we go. We're already halfway done. Now, let's just get that other script. Let me go here, script2.rb, Control A, copy it, and then we'll call this one battlescript underscore data. Battlescript underscore data is the file that we can edit later. We will not be editing battlescript main at all, so don't worry about editing this. Once you get everything all pasted in, you're good to go. Battlescript data is one that we can edit in a little bit, but right now, we don't have to worry about editing it. Let's just go and double check the thing. So battlescript main, battlescript data, cool, cool, cool. So we got our graphics in as well. You can start a new save, and I'll do that right now. And then after that, we will start making some mid-battle dialogue for our little Koga fight here. Let's start our game. I'm going to be holding left control on the keyboard to compile all of the script changes. When hitting play, you should do that. Once again, that's hit play and then hold left control on the keyboard. Let's just start a new game. I set it up so when I start a new game, it warps me to this map. Oh, look at my mouse cursor there. There we go, that's better. So let me just hold control and get back into the playable boundaries. And let's save now that I'm actually in the map. That's funny. Okay. It's gonna ask me, do I want to overwrite my old save? You betcha I want to overwrite my old save. My old save didn't have mid-battle dialogue. My new save does, and that's amazing. So let's just really quickly hit F9, go to debug menu, hit add Pokemon. Let's just give ourselves like a level 95 Charizard. We're gonna be super over leveled, and that's gonna be great. There we go. So now that we're super over leveled, we should be able to beat up this Koga fight that I set up. But we haven't set up any mid-battle dialogue for our guy Koga yet. So let's create a very simple example of mid-battle dialogue, and then let's fight him. So thankfully, it's actually very easy to do mid-battle dialogue. What you want to do is anywhere in this event, you can click and make sure that it's above the battle. What you can do is right-click, insert, and then go to script. And I have a very long text window here. If your text window isn't this long, what you should do is go into your game folder. Let me navigate there really quick. And you want to run extend-text.exe. If you double-click extend text while a text window is open, it'll extend, and then you'll get this awesome window for adding a lot of script. So let's go and look at some examples from Golisopod user that he set up, and let's start making some of our own. So you'll notice that there's a couple commands. There's battlescripting.set, battlescripting.set in script, battlescripting.copy, set trainer ace, set trainer order. These are all really awesome, and we can break them down in a little bit. But the very first one that we're going to want to do is battlescripting.set. And you'll notice that this takes condition and data. So I don't want to confuse you guys too much, but let's just say the condition is when our text will appear, and the data will be our text that does appear. And you can see here that he's defined a whole bunch of conditions. Now, I used a lot of mid-battle dialogue myself when working on Pokemon Bushido, and I primarily used turn start X and last op. Those were the conditions that I used the most. I think maybe like 99% of the time I was using those two. I didn't really ever use any of these others, but it's really cool that you can use all these others. Like, let's say, for example, your opponent uses a Mega Evolution. You can do that with Mega Op, you know? If you do big damage, or if you take big damage, or if you do big damage. If you do small damage, you know? Like, there's a lot of really awesome options here. So, let's just make it so that way on turn start 0, Koga says something to us. So first things first, let's go and copy battlescripting.set. And let's go back in, and let's just paste that. And then let's make some parentheses. And then in quotes, you want to call this turn start 0. I'm just going to copy it directly from the page to make sure that I don't mess up my formatting at all, because I make typos all the time. So there we go. We already have the first step set up for our mid-battle dialogue. Battlescripting.set, turn start 0. So at the start of the turn 0, we can do comma, and then we can add some text. And we'll have them say, "You'll never be able to defeat me." Yeah, ha 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 ha. There we go. That's some good mid-battle dialogue there. And now you'll notice that the battle scripting is set above the actual battle. If you set it underneath the battle, then it won't appear in your battle. It has to be above. I hope that makes sense. Anyway, now we've set up some very basic dialogue for Koga. Let's go beat him up. Let's go beat up Koga right now, shall we? It's compiling all my changes. It's processing all of my scripts, and there we go. Now we can hit start, get into the game, and let's talk to Koga. Let's see what he has to say. Mid-battle dialogue is the best. It's true. This tutorial, I'm going to convince you guys that mid-battle dialogue is the most powerful system that you can plug into your Pokemon game. It's so good. Anyway, let's go Koga. As you'll notice, I did plug in some custom music. It's very good music. Hey, look, it's Koga. He popped in. You'll never be able to defeat me. Yeah, ha ha. That's what we set. We just did that like 2 seconds ago. And then he disappears. Nice. Now, let's make it so... Let's take a look at Koga, and let's give him an ace, and then let's also make it so that way he has more dialogue that plays when his last Pokemon comes out. So, I defined Koga here in my Trainers TXT to have a Venonat, a Coughing, and a Venomoth. Let's make it so that way he throws out Venomoth last, and Venomoth is his ace. So what we want to do is we want to consult the guide once again. Once again, amazing work for Golisopod user, making all of this. This is fantastic. What we want to do is battle scripting set trainer ace. The way that trainer ace works is it takes a number, and that number determines which index in the party is the ace of our enemy. And the way that indexing works is like array indexing and programming, if you're familiar with that. So the first Pokemon is actually index 0. So for example, the third Pokemon in his party would be index 2, because it goes 0, 1, 2, And then the last Pokemon, if he had a team of 6, would be Index 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So since he only has 3 Pokemon in his party, Index 2 would be his ace. So what we can do is actually copy this and then go into our event again. And then we can do insert, script, and paste that. So now we have 2 instances of scripting set for this one battle. At turn start 0, he'll say you'll never be able to defeat me, and his ace is set to Pokemon 2 in his party, which once again, this right here, Pokemon 0 is Venonat, Pokemon 1 is Coughing, and Pokemon 2 is Venomoth. Bada boom! So now, let's make it so that way when Venomoth enters the battle, he has another line of dialogue. And what we can do is we can just copy this one, and let's just paste it right here. And instead of doing turn start 0, there is another condition for this. There's a condition when our enemy throws out their last Pokemon. That is last op. Last op is one that I use a lot. I've said that before, and I'll say it again. Last op is really nice. So now, battlescripting.set last op. Let's make him say, go Venomoth. You got this. Yeah, there we go. So at the start of the battle, he says, you'll never be able to defeat me. And then when he throws out Venomoth, he'll say, go Venomoth, you got this. Now, let's test that out. Let's beat up Koga. We do have a level 95 Charizard, so I don't think we'll have any difficulty in this battle. But it'll be cool to see the dialogue triggering. And then after that, we can start getting really crazy. Because you can do way more than trigger dialogue with the mid-battle dialogue script. I know it has dialogue in the name, but oh gosh, there's a lot of fun stuff you can do. Anyway, he says, you'll never be able to defeat me. Oh yeah, we'll see about that, Koga. I hope you enjoy Heat Wave. Oh yeah, baby. So now, since we set Venomoth as his ace, he should throw out Coughing here. There we go. It's possible that if we didn't set the ace, he would throw Venomoth out second. And we don't want that. We want him to throw Coughing out second. So we can destroy it in one hit. There we go. Get wrecked, Coughing. All right, now he's sending out his ace. And he comes in. Go Venomoth, you got this. Look at that. It's working as we defined. Isn't that cool? I think that's pretty dang cool. Now that we've figured out how to trigger dialogue, let's start triggering some more interesting stuff. What if at the start of the battle, we wanted Koga to raise the evasion of one of his Pokemon, like his Venonat, right? That'd be kind of cool. So he could say, you'll never be able to defeat me, and then he gives Venonat a buff. So the way that you would do that is by actually creating new entries in the data of our mid-battle dialogue right here. So like I said before, remember, there's BattleScript main and BattleScript data. BattleScript data is the one that we can edit and add new entries to. So for example, there's one here called Brock Give Up, Brock Sprinklers, you got FRLG End. There's a lot of amazing entries that have already been created, and we're just going to create a new one. So check this out. I'm actually going to copy one, a very basic one, from Pokemon Bushido and plug it in and dissect it. So check this out. All right, so I copied the method from Pokemon Bushido, and I'm going to paste it in right now. Here we go. So this is one that I made called Shadow Evasion. The way that it works is it makes the enemy appear, and then they say, it looks like it's time to get serious. Akui Clan technique, Shadow Style, Clones of Darkness. And then it plays the animation for the move Double Team, and then it raises their stats. So let's just mess with our formatting a little bit here. I'm going to bring this back. There we go. So let's walk through each individual line and edit them a little bit and get this working for our new Koga event. First things first, let's actually rename it from Shadow Evasion, and we can call this Koga Intro. There we go. So let's break down each individual line now. So the first one that I'm calling here is battle.scene.appearBar. You'll notice that this is called in others as well, but battle scene appear bar makes those black bars, those graphics that we added to our game, appear in the scene, so it looks all cinematic when the dialogue starts. And then battle.scene PB show opponent 0. What this does is it makes the enemy appear. So PB show opponent 0 will be index 0 for our enemies, which is, you know, in a one-on-one, we only have one enemy, so it would be opponent 0. And that just makes their trainer sprite appear. If you don't include this, the enemy's trainer sprite won't appear. But we want Koga to come sliding in and start talking to us. And then next, you'll notice that there's 2 PB messages here. PB message followed by the contents of the message is how you get text to display. So what we could do is have him say, "I'm Koga. I'm gonna beat you, baby." You know, I think that's very classic Koga, right? And then he could say, instead of saying a Kui Clan technique, he could say ninja technique, shadow style, clones of darkness, that's pretty hardcore. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, that's some cool dialogue. Let's keep it like that. One thing that you can also do is if you want to make the text colored, you can do //B or //R, to make it blue or red. You can also do //PG to use the player's gender, or POG, or POG, to use the player's opposite gender. So //POG will make the text red if our character is male, or blue if our character is female. But we know Koga is a male, so let's do //B and //B. There we go. So similar to appear bar, we also call disappear bar. It's very important that you don't forget this. If you ever call appear bar, make sure that you always call disappear bar before the end of the script. If you forget it, the black bars will persist in the UI, and people will think your game is broken. What I like to do is I like to think of everything in the mid-battle dialogue scripting here as like a sandwich. If you ever put an appear bar, that's for dialogue to appear, and then at the end of your dialogue, you want to close off your sandwich with a disappear bar. So right here what we have is a nice little chunk of, scripting sandwich, if you will. Then underneath that, we're calling battle.pbanimation, and then this one's a little bit tricky, but it's getting the ID of the move double team. And then the next one is battle battlers 0, battle battlers 1. So battle battlers 0 is the target, I believe, of the animation, or it might be the user versus the target. I could be wrong on this one, I can confirm, but yeah, basically you want battler 0 and battler 1. And now this next and final thing is what we want to do to increase our stats. So battle battlers 1 .pb raise stat stage, and then pb stats evasion, and then how many levels. What we could do is we could put like a 4 in here, and he would erase the evasion by 4 levels, which would be insane. Let's just do 1 level right now though. And then this is who is getting, or the animation that plays on whose stats are raising. So we want this to be the same as battler 1. And just for clarification, if you're confused by this, battle.battlers 0 is our Pokemon. Battle.battlers 1 is the enemy. And if you're doing a double battle, battler 2 will be your partner in the double battle, and battler 3 will be the second enemy in the double battle. So it goes 0, then 1 on the enemy team, then 2 on our team, and then 3 on the enemy team, and it alternates. So what we have here is battler 1, which is the enemy, raising his evasion by 1 stage, and then the animation plays on battler 1. If you don't want the animation to play, you can also do false here at the end, and then you won't see the animation. So for example, if you have him raise a bunch of stats, let's do that. Let's make it so his evasion raises, and his speed raises. So we can change that to speed by 1 level. Let's make it 2, actually. And then what we can do here is do false. So the stat raising animation will only play once. The stat raising animation is, like those red lines that go like and then like raise up. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, the final thing that we call is another piece of the sandwich. This is battle scene hide opponent. This is how you make the enemy's trainer sprite disappear. So if you ever call show opponent, at the end you should also call hide opponent. And there we go. We have a perfectly good chunk of mid-battle dialogue. I'll be linking all of this in the description as well if you're confused by this, but hopefully this all made sense. So now let's see it in our game. So what we want to do is we want to call Koga intro. And the way that you can do that is going in here, and instead of doing battlescripting.set, you can do set in script. This is an example that is already defined here as well, remember, in the resources. So there's battlescripting.set, and then there's battlescripting.set in script. So the way that set in script works is it's very similar, But instead of plugging in our text, we would just plug in the name of the data event that we created. So battle scripting set in script, turn start 0, and then just delete that and put a little colon here, bam, and then copy, and then paste. That's what I mean to say. Battle scripting.set in script, turn start 0, Koga intro. Now, let's run it and see how it looks. I'm going to hold left control. Oops, I didn't hold left control there. Let's run it again and hold left control to confirm that our script changes are applied. Now it's processing everything. It's compiling all of the changes. If you don't do this, it's possible that sometimes you won't see the changes. So now let's go into our game and let's fight Koga again and see what the mid-battle dialogue looks like. I'm excited to see his updated intro. We made him a little bit more difficult. He raises the speed of his Venonat by 2 levels at the start of the fight. That's pretty hardcore. Oh, look at that. The black bars came in. That's the appear bars. He says, I'm Koga. I'm gonna beat you, baby. Ninja technique, shadow style, clones of darkness. Oh, so as you can see, the double team animation kind of sucks. And it looks like it appeared on me instead. So we'd want to do Battler 1. But look, his stats raised. That was pretty nice, right? What the heck is that double team animation? Some of the default Essentials animations aren't great. But yeah, let's do Battler 1. There we go. So the user is Battler 1 and the target is Battler 1. And I think that that's going to look a lot better. But yeah, he raised his evasion and he raised his speed. But what if we wanted to lower stats now? Let's look into how to do that. To lower stats, it's very easy. It's actually just as easy as changing the name of this method right here. Instead of raise stat stage, you can just call PB lower stat stage. So let's go underneath here and go bam, and paste one in. And instead of lowering stat stage of Battler 1, let's lower the stat stage of Battler 0, our Pokemon. There we go. And then let's lower our attack by 3 levels. There we go. That's pretty insane. And we'll make it so the animation plays as well, because we're not including comma false here. Bada boom. This ought to look pretty cool, right? So we're going to lower our attack. Let's hold left control again to compile all the changes. And then let's see how it looks. I need to drag my game on over to this other window. There we go. All right. So Koga is going to be very rude now. Mid-battle dialogue is the best. It's true. Mid-battle dialogue is very, very fun. All right, you are challenged by Gym Leader Koga. He sends out a Venonat. Look at him go, dude. Look at that little guy, dude. All right. I'm Koga. I'm gonna beat you, baby. Ninja technique, shadow style, clones of darkness. Look at that. The animation appears properly on our enemy. His evasiveness has risen. His speed rose sharply, and our attack severely fell. Look at that. We're making some more progress on our mid-battle dialogue. But what if we wanted to make it so Koga poisoned us at the start of the battle, and then to make matters worse, what if we made it so Koga threw out, like, poison spikes at the start of the battle? Well, thankfully, that's actually very easy to do as well. It just requires a couple small changes to our pre-existing Koga intro. So let's look at how to do that. So I'm going to actually copy another chunk of code from Pokemon Bushido and paste it down here towards the end. Let's actually make it so after he lowers our stats, he throws toxic spikes at us. So let's just go and paste this in. And let's break down these 3 lines of code. So this is just 3 lines of code, and we're going to look at them right now. So similar to the PB animation that we did earlier for Double Team, we're now doing an animation for the move Toxic Spikes. And we're making it so Battler 1, which is the enemy, is using it on Battler 0, which is us. And then we're doing battle.pb display to display a message here, which is different than PB message. We're doing it for the Toxic Spikes. And you would do this if you wanted to display the name of the Pokemon. I think we don't really need to do this right now because I've actually removed the ability to grab our Pokemon's name from that, but don't worry about this. What I'm just going to say is this displays the message that says Toxic Spikes are scattered all around the battlefield. And then here is the most important thing. This part right here, this is how we're actually setting up the Toxic Spikes. This is setting so battle.battlers1, which is our enemy, is setting something on the opposing side, which is our side, and it is setting up the effect, PB affects Toxic Spikes, and setting it equal to 2. So we just got 2 layers of Toxic Spikes thrown on our side. Or another way of saying it, the enemy threw Toxic Spikes onto the opposing side, which is, our side, And yeah, now we're gonna get messed up if we try switching our Pokemon. So let's also make it so Koga poisons us. So I've copied another chunk of code from Pokemon Bushido, and I'm gonna paste that in now. Hopefully this isn't too much of a trend. I did set up a lot of very interesting dialogue for that game, and I highly recommend that you dive through the scripts if you want to learn how to set up some more mid-battle dialogue for yourself. But yeah, what I've got here is another chunk of code, and this is a little bit larger than the Toxic Spikes one, but trust me, this is very cool. So it's very similar to how the Toxic Spikes one started. It is once again calling an animation. So this is battle.pb animation, and this time it's getting the ID for a move called Poison Kunai. That is a custom animation that I made for Pokemon Bushido, and if you've made any custom animations for your game, you could plug in a custom animation here. But instead, let's just change it so instead it uses the animation for Toxic, and this is right now setting for Battler 0 using on Battler 1. Let's change that so Battler 1 is using it on Battler 0. So the enemy is going to be hitting us with Toxic. Now, what I've got here now underneath this animation is an if-else. The way that this works is it checks to see if it can even inflict the status, and if it cannot, it'll say a message saying we resisted it. So, if Battler 0, PB can inflict status, so this is checking to see if we can be inflicted by poison. If we can be inflicted by poison, then it'll inflict us with poison. So Battler 0, PB can inflict status, PB status is poison, and then Battler's 1 false. I feel like this should probably be Battler 0 here. Oh no, we want to keep this as Battler 1 because this is our enemy. Anyway, the next thing underneath here is battle.battler 0, PB inflict status. So you want to call PB inflict status on a Pokemon to inflict them with a status. Then after that, you want to call the name of the status. What we could do is change this so instead of poison, it was sleep. We could make it so instead of poison, it's paralyze. We can even call burn or freeze here. But right now, for our example, let's just call poison. There we go. So this is inflicting poison, and then this next one is how strong the poison is. Right now, we're just going to set that to 1. And then after that, it says your Pokemon was poisoned by the Venom Kunai. This is where you can plug in a custom message. The Venom Kunai is some stuff that I set up for Bushido, but instead, if we don't want to do a message, we can just put nil in here, and it'll default to the default message saying, hey, your Pokemon was poisoned. But check this out. If our battler can be poisoned, we'll poison them. Else, we'll display a message that says that we resisted the poison. So right now, this says resisted the enemy's kunai. Let's just say the enemy's poison. There we go. So you'll notice right here it says brackets 1. This is where it'll draw in the name of our battler. So battle.battler0.name is going to get passed into this value here. So you can't just copy this and do like, oh, my battler resisted the enemy's poison. It doesn't work like that. You have to set it up like this, so that way brackets 1 will use this value, and then brackets 2 could use another value if you want. This is how you can pass in the names of battlers or other variables into a text message here. Anyway, we could say we resisted the enemy's poison, and then it'll end, and then it'll hide the opponent. So now we've set up a lot of crazy stuff here. Let's run our game, and once again, hold left control on the keyboard to compile all the script changes. And once it's done compiling, we can test this out. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to give myself a poison Pokemon. Or actually, I'm going to make it so Charizard is already poisoned in another battle. What I'll do is I'll do one battle first, and then after that, I'll show what it looks like when our Charizard is already poisoned at the start of the battle. All right, so let's fight Gym Leader Koga. He throws out a Venomat. Oh, I've seen this guy before. What else has he got? I'm Koga, I'm gonna beat you, baby! Ninja Technique, Shadow Style, Clones of Darkness. Oh, baby, his evasiveness has risen. His speed has risen. Our attack has severely fallen. Ooh, we just got Toxic Spikes scattered. Oh gosh, and we just got poisoned. We got badly poisoned. All right, well, that was pretty dang cool. Now, what would happen if our Charizard was already poisoned? Let's see what that looks like now. Let's go into our game once again. Let's go to Pokemon, and I'm sorry to do this to you, Charizard, but let's do debug, HP status, set status, poison. There we go. So now I'm already poisoned. If I run around, you'll see that my screen will flash red. All right. And then let's save with our Charizard already being poisoned. And now let's do a fight. Mid-battle dialogue is the best. It's true. Mid-battle dialogue is really, really fun. All right, Koga, what do you got? What do you got for me, baby? He wants to fight. Let's see what he's got. I'm Koga, I'm gonna beat you, baby! Ninja technique, shadow style, clones of darkness. Oh yeah. The evasiveness rose, the speed rose. Oh, our attack severely fell. And he scattered toxic spikes, what the heck? Oh my gosh, and we resisted the enemy's poison though. That's pretty cool. Look at that. That's pretty amazing. So, I'm getting close to the end of this tutorial because as you can see, we're already doing some very crazy stuff. But what if we wanted to do even more crazy stuff with our mid-battle dialogue? Well, I'm going to show you an example from Bushido where we do something extremely crazy. Alright, so as you can see, I've gone and copied a ton of new script in here, and I've made a new method here called Koga Last, and let's walk through it, and then let's see how it looks in battle. So this is using some very crazy stuff from Bushido once again, and the way that this works is our opponent will appear, and then it'll change the BGM. We'll do PB BGM play to change the BGM, and just in case, I'll also call a BGM fade above this. Let me just find that real quick. Thankfully, it's very easy. We'll do PB BGM fade, like right here. There we go. So the old BGM will fade out, and then the new BGM will start playing, and then he'll say Secret Technique Nightmare Void, and then we'll play the animation for the move Dark Void, and then the user is our enemy, and the target is our Pokemon, and then it will check to see if they can inflict status, and if they can inflict status, it'll inflict sleep on our Pokemon, and then we'll also do battler effects, PB effects Nightmare, and set it to true. So what this does is, for our Pokemon, which is once again battler 0, it does dot effects and then enables Nightmare. And Nightmare means that when you're asleep, you take a lot of damage at the end of every turn. So then it'll say we began having a nightmare. Then they'll throw out spikes, which is very similar to the toxic spikes example above. And it'll set it so there's 3 layers of spikes, which is crazy. And then they say Secret Technique Trick Room, and then they activate Trick Room. The way that this works is battle.field.effects, PB effects Trick Room. What I would highly recommend you do is if you have an effect that you want to use in your game, like for example Leech Seed, or maybe even like Fire Spin or something, that you just do Control-Shift-F and look for PB effects, because there's a lot of cool effects and you can force them to true with mid-battle dialogue. But yeah, we set Trick Room up to be 5 turns long here, and then it'll say Koga twisted the dimensions. And then what we could do is appear the bar and have him say, witness my true power, you'll never beat me. And then he can raise his stats. So yeah, this is an example of a very crazy mid-battle dialogue. And I will link all of this in the description once again. But yeah, let's see this working in our game. What we need to do now is make it so that way on last op, we see Koga last. So we need to do this and set this to Koga last. And we can't forget to also set this to say set in script, because we are setting the mid-battle dialogue in our script here. We've set it in script for turn start 0, and now we're setting it in script for last op. So now let's get into a really intense battle with Koga. This is going to be a crazy battle. It's going to be so crazy that I'm going to actually want to go into my Pokemon team, and I'm going to want to duplicate my Charizard a couple times, and I'm gonna duplicate another Charizard just to make sure that I can win, you know. This is gonna be a pretty tough battle, so I think I'm gonna need 3 level 95 Charizards to really pull through. Let's fully heal, and then let's just fully heal you as well, and then let's get our healthy Charizard in the lead. I don't want to lead with my poisoned Charizard. And then let's save. And then let's get into a battle. Let me also make sure that I'm dragging this over to the other monitor. Cool, we're good to go. Let's fight Koga. Mid-battle dialogue is the best. It's true. Mid-battle dialogue is so good. It allows you to do so much fun things with your battles. Mid-battle dialogue is something that I think every fan game should have. It elevates battles so much. Even if it's something small, like having a trainer come in and say something, that adds so much. But having them do more things, like do effects and stuff, like inflicting status conditions at the start of the battle, it's so cool. Ninja technique, shadow style, clones of darkness. Oh my gosh, his evasiveness has risen, and his speed rose. Oh, and my attack severely fell. Oh, and there's toxic spikes. Oh, and I'm poisoned. Oh gosh, this is brutal. Okay, can I beat him? Yeah, I can probably still beat him. Okay, let's show this off though. Oh no, look, I'm badly poisoned. It looks like my HUD icon there like updated a little bit late, but whatever. Let's swap into Charizard, who's already poisoned. All right, here we go. Get him, Charizard. We don't have to be afraid of the toxic spikes. Heat Wave. All right, I might not actually be able to show off the going to sleep part here because I'm poisoned. All right, let's see. Will I send in Venomoth? Will I switch? I'm gonna say no. Oh no, I should have switched because I'm flying, so I wouldn't get affected. Oh, the music changed. Nightmare Void. Whoa! I resisted the technique. All right, we got to do another battle to show off the technique fully going. But Trick Room! Oh, look at that! He twisted the dimensions. You'll never beat me! Oh, his stats have... Oh my gosh, this is intense. All right, we can Heat Wave him now though, right? Yeah. All right, we beat him. Let's show that battle off one more time, because I would very much like to show off his Nightmare Void, because I think that's pretty dang cool. All right, let's go, Koga. I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you and your level 10 Venonat, even though it's very scary. But yeah, having them do special techniques in battle is really fun. It's really cool. Having them do different things when their ace Pokemon comes out is really awesome as well. And there's a lot of amazing things that you can do with mid-battle dialogue. I haven't even shown it off fully, but you can show choices in battle. We did that for the Sukiro quiz at the start of Pokemon Bushido, and there's already an example in the data that was defined. Like, Golisopod user already made a quiz that emulates the Opal battle from Pokemon Sword and Shield, and it's just so cool, man. I'll show that off briefly before I end this tutorial, but it's so nice. Will I switch? Yeah. If you want to learn more, once again, I highly recommend diving through the documentation that has already been provided on the website link. I also highly recommend downloading Pokemon Bushido and just taking a look at how we set up everything in that game. All right, Nightmare Void. Oh, I got put to sleep now. Oh gosh, and I'm having a nightmare. Uh-oh. And spikes are scattered all around. Secret technique, Trick Room. Oh geez, my true power, you'll never beat me. Oh, he's so difficult. Okay, Heat Wave? I'm probably still gonna be asleep though. He went for Poison Powder, nice try. Oh my gosh, I took nightmare damage. Look how cool that is, man. Gosh, it's so cool. But yeah, real quick, I'll just show off some of the stuff that I set up in Bushido. This is a different script editor called Atom that I've been using, and don't worry, I will want to cover this in a later tutorial as well. But let's just go with Sukiro right here. Let's check it out. Sukiro quiz. Question time, player name, or //PN. What is a Kenshi's most important moral code? So this is how you do command equals PB message, and then, yeah, you can do CMD equals 0. I would recommend looking at this, and that's how you can set up a little quiz. I'll link that in the description as well. But like I said before, a quiz has already been created here, called Opal. Opal Send 1, Opal Send 2. You can already dive through these, and they're part of the mid-battle data script. But anyway, I think that about does it for this tutorial. I want to say thank you so much for watching, and I really appreciate you guys. All the support from the Thundaga community lately has been so amazing, and I appreciate you guys all so much. I hope that this tutorial helps you out, because I would really like to see mid-battle dialogue be used in more fan games moving forward. It is such an amazing system, and Golisopod user has absolutely knocked it out of the park with this resource. It is so awesome. The possibilities are endless. I totally recommend everybody follow the link in the description to download this and check it out, and also support Golisopod user. You know, he's got a YouTube channel. I'll link that in the description. You should support him, man. We gotta support everybody. We gotta be supportive of everybody. Like, feel that wholesome energy, man. It's so good. Anyway, yeah, I think that about does it for me. I would like to once again say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. And until next time, I hope that you all have a good one.